Hello guys, it's time to do another live stream. I actually went to some antique stores and thrift stores today. Didn't really find anything, but I did find... I'll take that back. I did find an 2008 Holmes fan, clip fan, which I probably won't be able to clip on my desk because I really don't know, to be honest, to expect from it, but I could probably use it. If you're wondering what the sound is in the background, it's my 1950s Kenmore fan going. And I also posted the link in the chat and in the description. Hey, Jacksonator. Nice. I think you were also the one that kept getting a bunch of vintage ceiling fans too on your community posts. I absolutely wish I could get some Fasco ceiling fans, especially from the 80s. I love the looks of them, especially. I especially like the way their motors are designed, their brackets too. Okay. Hope Landon joins. Oh yeah, loose boxes are a hazard. Good, Landon. See you then. Hello, Peyton. Hey, Kayla. Good. You needed to do that because I don't want a ceiling fan falling on you in the head because that is a huge matter of health and safety.
Alright, I'm here.
Hi, Landon.
Hold on, I'm gonna... Alright.
Do you mean a landmark?
I don't have a Hampton Bay landmark.
I'm talking to Kayla Tate.
Oh.
So have you been
Camera's
able
having a hard
to
time.
have you been able to present something on the live stream before?
Yeah.
I'm gonna.
Hold on.
So, what is your favorite ceiling fan that's been on the Oshitaki Mushroom channel?
Probably the Alaska one.
The Atlantic Air. That's
Yeah.
yours in their document.
Yeah.
I'll show you that. I'll show you one of my favorite videos from Oshitaki Mushrooms, and it's the pizza one. When Leland threw the pizza all over the table. I'll see if I can even get it in there. The presenting on a live stream has not been real successful for me in the past couple days, so hopefully it goes well this time. Maybe StreamYard is just doing some updates.
I'm gonna fix my camera real quick. Look.
What is that? Oh, is that a bunch of your drawings?
Yeah. I made these 3 earlier. I made these 2 about a couple days ago.
That's some
Look at
good drawings.
those.
That's cool. Peyton, I've been watching Oshitaki Mushroom since I was 9 years old in 2017. That was the one when Leland threw the fidget spinner out the car window.
And also, look at this. Here's my
All
other
right.
part that I could do with the Eric's apartment impression. Hold on. Here's the other part.
That's some
This
good
is like,
drawings.
yeah. Hold on. Oh, there it is. Alright. Alright, I'm gonna do it. That's right. You and me. Right now. We're having it up. Let's go. Come on. Come on. That's the one I can do. But look at this. Look at them right there. Oh crap. I think someone's calling me. I think someone's calling me today, so I'll be right back in a couple minutes. I'll be right back in a couple minutes, alright?
All right.
Alright. Be right back. It's just it might take like 15 minutes, so it won't be that long.
My favorite character, honestly, is Leland, even though he throws temper tantrums.
I haven't watched that channel in so long, actually.
My first episode that I watched on that episode is when Leland threw the fidget spinner out of the car window.
I used to watch him like all the time, but I haven't watched him in like a year or two now.
Honestly, his freakouts are actually pretty funny. So, did you know I just finished 10th grade about a couple days ago?
Oh, I finished 7th grade.
I also, and because I got all my work done, I might do a shredding episode once some more friends join the live stream.
Do you still play Roblox?
I honestly don't play Roblox anymore because it keeps going down.
Remember the last game we played was some game where there was once with you ceiling fans in a black box and there was some outside.
Honestly, I'm tempted just to delete Roblox because it always needs new updates and it's always going down.
It doesn't go down as much anymore, but it still goes down.
I honestly drives me nuts. I mean, that game is 18 years old, so that might have something to do with it.
I don't think they've updated their servers since they started. They probably still use the same servers.
Yep, I remember when Roblox used to be a fun game in 2017.
I wasn't even on Roblox in 2017.
I remember in 2017 there were a bunch of fan worlds, and now those worlds have pretty much gone extinct.
I don't even think I have had any social medias in 2017.
Yep. Well, you were born in 2010, so you would have been 7. I was 9 in 2017.
In 2017, I was stuck with YouTube Kids.
In 2017, I remember when the fidget spinner trend was popular. Remember that?
Oh yeah, I remember that at school. Like, everybody was bringing fidget spinners around, but then I finally got a fidget spinner, and then nobody was bringing them around anymore.
Yep, they just got banned by that time. Fidget spinner trend didn't really live up.
Poppets came around, and I kind of got one in time, but I don't play with Poppets anymore. Now it just sits around the house and collects dust.
Yeah, honestly, it's a little sad of through the years going by, and what was once a trend is now pretty much extinct.
Fidgets aren't even really around anymore.
Yeah, honestly,
it's mainly just phones now.
Yep. And what Jordan Yu thinks, it's pretty sad that people just sit on a phone all day.
I'm gonna be honest, that's kind of what I do.
Honestly, same here. But I'm not as bad as what the other people are. I at least do some driving with my time too because I have my license.
Well, obviously I can't drive.
Because you're going to be 14 this year, right?
Yeah, that's when you start learning how to drive. You don't get a license when you're like 16.
Yep. And, well, I'll give you a quiz. When you're at a stop sign, should you make a complete stop or should you roll through the stop sign?
You should go through the stop sign. No, I'm just kidding. You should stop.
Nope, you have to do a complete stop at the stop sign. You check the road, and if there's no cars coming, then you're safe to go.
I know what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to hit the stop sign with your car.
That's not how you drive. You're going to cause an accident, and on your driving test, that's an automatic fail.
You can't fail me if he's dead.
And also, when you're parking, you
I'm pretty
can't...
sure you would get arrested, though.
When you're parking, you cannot hit cones either, because that's another automatic fail on a driving test.
I'm probably going to suck at parallel parking.
You know what? I'm not a good parallel parker myself.
My parents aren't good at parallel parking either. They don't even parallel park. They just park in the grass.
What I do is I just find another parking spot that's not parallel parking, and then I just walk the extra mile or two. In fact, the town I was at today, there were parallel parking spots all over the place, but I just parked in a different parking lot, and I didn't mind just walking another mile. And plus, it's good exercise, too.
Also, my parents are probably going to teach me how to drive in the Malibu, because that car is like the least cared about car in this household, so if something was bad to happen to it, then my family wouldn't care as much about one of their newer cars.
Hi, Ryan.
They're originally going to get a golf cart, but they're probably just going to take me in the Malibu, because that car sucks anyway.
I actually drive a Buick, so yeah. It's a white 2011 Buick.
The Malibu is from 2006.
Yep, that is true, Jacksonator. So now I can go to a lot of the other stores and collect old fans. In fact, I collected a Holmes today at Goodwill.
I went to Goodwill a few days ago, but there was no fans, so I just grabbed a cool calculator that plugged into the wall.
Yeah, I'm sure it's gotta have some age to it if it plugs into the wall.
Oh, it does. It has one of those old vacuum fluorescent displays.
Wow, is it old? How old?
I don't know, but there was a Sonic sticker on it, and it said like 2005 on it. 2007 actually. But it probably wasn't from 2007. That's probably just when that sticker was put on there.
Probably.
Under the sticker was a phone number, and it was for Verizon support.
Okay, who's John Smith?
I don't know.
Should I just not let him in, or could it be a fan collector?
What does his like username say? Like on StreamYard.
Eli.
The name sounds familiar, but I thought his name. I don't think he was John Smith.
Yeah, I don't think so either. It seems a little suspicious to me, but if it's a porn bot, I'm gonna redo a live stream because I don't want this YouTube channel to get terminated.
Actually, don't let him in at all, because I know there's been some idiots going around boxing people's information.
Oh,
This is why I quit making streams.
Yeah, I think that I remember when you quitted. And I remember the video you made about contribute to my live streams, and there was one that I ate expired chocolate syrup on there.
And also, if that actually was the guy, he would have said something in the private chat by now, but he has not said anything, so...
Well, I don't want to be the one getting terminated, so you give me the advice to do.
Don't. If you don't know who they are, then don't let them in.
Well, I may ask them who they are, and I'm going to tell them that if they're lying, they're banned for life.
They're probably not going to say anything, because they haven't said anything in the private chat.
Yeah, well, it's just me and you on the live stream right now, so I wouldn't worry too much about that.
Are you actually going to let them in?
Well, if I'm... well, I don't think I will let them in, because it's probably not something good. But if they say that they are, I'll trust them. But if they are lying, they're banned for life.
Are they still in the stream?
Nope.
Oh. Also, the calculator has a receipt printer in it, but it needs ink. I thought it was a thermal printer, but it turns out it needed ink.
So what is your favorite secondhand store you've been to?
Like, stuff that you don't buy groceries from?
Like thrift stores or antique shops.
Probably Goodwill, because that's basically the only one I've ever been to. I've been to an antique store before, but I was like 6 years old.
I love antique stores. I mean, some of them are pretty high priced. I've seen a GE Vortex fan with the cut cord that is $100.
Oh, actually, I have been at an antique store back in 2023. There was a bunch of vintage fans there, but what's dumb is that we couldn't get them because they were all for display.
That is quite a dumb rule. If you're going to sell something, if it's antique, if you really want to use it, go with modern stuff. Because people will think that you're putting stuff out for sale.
They could at least tell us that it's for display, otherwise people are going to be asking to buy it.
Yeah, just buy something modern, or just buy a plastic fan because no one thinks they're antique. And just, if you really don't want people to buy antique stuff, just buy modern stuff.
And what's funny is that there is something at the antique store. There was a fan and it was not antique at all. It was just one of those like cheap metal fans you can find at Walmart that look retro.
Yep. Well, some people may think they look antique, but we're smarter than that. We know when it's not antique.
It's not, because it looked exactly like my antique retro desk fan. It just didn't have a brand name on it. And what's dumb is that they were selling it for a higher price than you can find at Walmart.
That is quite dumb. I've seen a Holmes fan, one of those clip fans, they were selling for $10, and I think you can get it at another store cheaper. Like, at stupidly overpriced. Well, the antique store that I've been to today, there was a 12-inch and a 16-inch GE Vortex fan, and believe it or not, the 16-inch one was $5 cheaper than the 12-inch. It's dumb. And all the other fans have cracked cords, and they were at a high price too. It's stupid.
At the antique store, I was so close to getting a vintage fan until I realized they were for display.
Well, how do you know they were for display? Is that just because of...
Yeah, we asked the cashier if we could buy the fan, and she said it's for display.
Did they have cords on them? Do you remember?
I don't know. I think some did, some didn't.
Well, if the cord is perfectly fine, it should be safe to plug in, but...
They weren't on.
I think at an antique store, if they're going to put it on display just because it looks old, and to me, it's kind of dumb. Like, just use that one retro fan. Just sell the rest of them that are a true vintage.
What's nice, though, is that they had some old manual preheat desk lamp.
That is a really nice one. I've seen some Aladdin lamps that don't work on around electricity.
And it was nice because it was not for display. You could actually buy it. And it was plugged in so you could test it, but I couldn't get it because my mom thought it was a fire hazard.
Well, you know what? When you become as old as me, you can just get it and not tell your parents.
Well, not me, because I can't just go to the store by myself. I need some way to get there.
Well, when you get your driver's license.
Yeah, that's not going to be for another 3 years.
You know what? I thought I couldn't get to the age when I was your age, but I finally made it, and it's the best years of my life.
I mean, I could walk there, but first of all, I wouldn't have any money because I'm literally broke. And also, it took like 30 minutes just to get there by car, so it'd probably take like 5 hours to get there by walking.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I do work with a small company, so at least I get some money that way. But yeah,
And also, the lamps were too expensive. They were like over $100. You couldn't buy like half an air conditioner for that.
that is so ridiculous. I mean, if they are true vintage, I'd say maybe that's why they put it that high. But to me, it's ridiculous. And you know what? Maybe the cords are frayed too. On top of that,
I don't want to say the store name because I don't want to dox myself.
yep. Well, the antique store I went to is called Midwest Antiques. It's about 45 minutes away from my house. And I also saw an old can opener at an antique store. I bought it, but it needs work. The motor still runs, but it's corroded somewhere that won't open cans.
We've tried to get an electric can opener before, and it sucked. It didn't open the cans at all, so we just stuck with a manual one.
Well, the thing I don't like about the manual can openers is that, especially plastic ones, they break. In fact, I had one break before on me.
Well, the motorized one, it didn't even open the can at all. You have to put it on there 5 times, and it still would not open the can.
That's infuriating.
But it was a modern one, so that probably explains it.
I do have a modern can opener. It actually surprisingly works well, but I'd say just get a vintage one. If it needs cleaning, just use like a vinegar solution or something. I'd say.
I think I faintly remember. I think my grandma used to have some old motorized can opener. It was branded like Oster or Oyster or something like that. And I think it also had a bottle opener on it, and it actually worked.
Well, good for that. Do you remember what color they were?
It was a white one.
My grandma actually had a butterscotch yellow can opener. That was popular in the 70s.
But I think it quit working on them.
Well, that is quite sad.
Because I think one time I went there and I didn't see it.
I love those old electric can openers. They make opening cans like a piece of cake.
Not the modern ones, though.
Yeah, modern ones are crap. Just get a vintage one. Spend a couple extra dimes at an antique store and get one that's quality.
I don't think we saw any can openers at the antique store.
Well, there was another one there, but I decided not to get it. I decided I'm going to fix the one I have because I don't need another can opener. I could use one for my camper, though.
Camper?
My camper. You know, the RV.
You have an RV?
Maybe not true RV, but we do have a camper that pulls from my dad's truck.
Oh, so it's like a camper trailer.
Yeah, the camper trailer, that's what it's called. We got it in 2016.
They should make like solar powered ones so you don't have to bring a generator with you.
Well, the thing is that solar panels only work when it's sunny out.
We're just going on a sunny spot.
Well, you don't always get sun. You could get rain, it could get cloudy, all that.
You know, like solar panels, sometimes they have like battery packs hooked up, so when the solar panels aren't getting light, you're just using battery power. And then whenever you're getting solar energy, it's charging up the batteries.
Well, also the batteries could die.
Well, maybe just keep the generators like a backup solution, maybe.
I mean, generators are very expensive.
Well, they also make like generators that don't use a gas motor. They also have battery powered ones. Or maybe use like a UPS. We were thinking about getting a UPS at some point because our power would go out a lot, so it'd be nice to have something that keeps the house going whenever the power's off.
Yeah, that would be nice to have something like that, so then you will for sure know that your house won't.
We'd be flexing on the neighbors. They would be like, well, you guys are stuck in the dark. We're in here still using all our electronics and stuff. So I guess that sucks for you.
Have you been in an RV before?
I've been in a broken RV before for like 2 seconds.
I've been to a bunch of campers before at a camper show. I love the ones that have ceiling fans.
I think in the army there was a Midea window air conditioner, but it wasn't plugged in.
Have you went in a tent before?
No, I've never been camping. Well, I technically have. It was at like a camp, like a summer camp thingy or whatever. It was a summer camp, but I didn't stay there for summer. It was a school field trip, and it had a cabin, and we all slept in it, but we didn't have a tent or a camper or anything.
Well, I used to be in Boy Scouts, so we used to go tenting a lot, but our troop went out of business because not enough people were in the troop.
Have you been to a daycare before?
Oh yeah, when I was a little kid, yes.
I used to go to a daycare back in like 2020, and not long ago it shut down.
Well, I went to my aunt's daycare in 2008, I think November 2008, when my parents needed to go to work. But then around 2012, maybe, that daycare shut down and I had to go to the other place. And let me tell you, that other place was not the same. The other place gave me timeouts for the very littlest reasons. It was ridiculous.
Well, yeah, at the daycare, I think it shut down. I don't really know the exact reason, but I think I remember my parents telling me it was because of bankruptcy.
Well, and also eventually the other daycare that I used to go to also shut down because, and then there was no more daycares in my town anymore. It was like either take care of your kids and don't have a job, or leave them alone or leave them with their grandma.
Well, we quit going to daycare before it shut down, and we don't go to daycare anymore. We just stay at home, and our dad sleeps in his room. So, like, there's somebody else, like, on the property, like, you know.
Not gonna lie, I did not like daycare as much as I.
But there was one specific thing I remember from the daycare. There was a purple fan, and I got to test it out.
Well,
I will always remember that fan.
You know what? I would always. You know what? A little funny story is, this was back when CDs were still popular. I remember there was a bunch of children's songs on that disc, and I'd always push the buttons while the teachers were not looking just to listen to that ABC song. I will always remember that, and I did not get caught either.
Oh yeah, I remember the CD players too. I remember we used to have nap time, and they would always put sleep music on the CD players. But what's annoying is that it would play the same music over and over again. Like, it was 3 songs, and they all just played on loop.
Well, I remember on the CD player when it was cleanup time, I remember there was a cleanup song on there.
I'm gonna be honest, during nap time I didn't even go to sleep. I just laid there and think about YouTube videos about people connecting things up. I was a very weird child.
You know what? I honestly was pretty weird when I was in daycare.
I used to have some behavior issues at daycare, but I quit doing that, so yay.
Yeah, I honestly had some behavior issues at daycare too. You know what? Something I always feel super guilty of is I hold one of the child's hair, and that's when I got into timeout. And I remember always crying in the timeout chair too.
Remember before, back in pre-K, I remember I would always try to escape timeout.
You know what? I did escape timeout when the teachers were not looking, and I just kept going and playing. They would not do anything about it.
Yeah, I would get out of timeout, and then the teacher would have to stop the whole class. I remember the timeout chair was like a basket.
And
with a blanket in it.
And I also remember the time when, and I also remember one of the very few first days when I went to that other daycare. There were like alphabet magnets, and I grabbed the drawer. And I remember when the daycare teacher said, "They are not open." But I liked my aunt.
I know having a basket as a timeout chair is stupid, but pre-K, we were pre-K, so we were super small, so that sounded perfect.
Was it a cheap, flimsy plastic one?
It was a cheap laundry basket.
That's stupid. But I guess if you guys are super
it wasn't even an actual chair.
It's stupid. That's honestly the most stupidest way to have a timeout, in my opinion.
Yeah, I would escape timeout all the time.
Me too. I remember always escaping that too.
I don't know if that was actually the timeout chair, but that's just what I remember. This was like 9 years ago.
And I also remember the times when I also remember that's when I learned about years, like what year was it and all that kind of stuff and what months.
Something weird that I used to do in pre-K, this is kind of unexplainable. Actually, I think I did this in kindergarten. I remember every day when we were riding to school in the car, I would tell my mom to put the AC at a specific temperature. I forgot it was like 69 or 7 degrees Fahrenheit. And then we would get to class, and then we would start like counting, and every time we would get up to 67, I would say 67F. Because that's what I remember from the car.
You know what? I did the same exact thing when I was that age. I remember always being fun with the number shapes in my dad's Chevy at the time. And I remember always telling him to put it at like 69. I'm getting mad when he changes the temperature. I know what you mean. I was pretty weird back then.
I would always ask my mom to put the car at that specific temperature.
Me too. I remember that.
And I'm going to be honest, that temperature is actually what felt right inside that car. Because it didn't feel too hot, it didn't feel...
Yeah, that was perfect. 69 was the perfect temperature. In fact, that's basically the temperature that I put in my air conditioner. And despite it being modern, it still works. And it also runs on 220 volts too.
Oh yeah, I have a modern air conditioner. I have a Midea window. We've had it for like 2 years now, and it's only had like 2 minor issues. I remember one is that the filter got stuck in it, so we couldn't clean it out. So we had to like rip the filter out of there, and then we had to tape it to the front of the unit. But then eventually we fixed that just by trying to jam it in there, and then we fixed it. There was something stuck in there. And then the second problem is that the AC unit filled up with water, and it started leaking into my room. So we had to take the unit out of the window, and we had to drill a hole in the bottom, put it back in the window, and the problem was fixed.
Oh, yeah. Pretty much like a Duracell battery when it leaks.
Oh yeah, also my Midea uses 110, by the way.
And also, a Duracell battery failed about a week ago. One of my things.
It's kind of funny how everybody I know has bad experiences with Duracell, but me, I've had Duracells and they last like forever without leaking. It's kind of funny. Maybe it's just American-made Duracells are the best.
Well, you know what? My experience with Duracell, they're made in the USA and they still stink. So that shows that garbage products could absolutely come out of America as well. It's just not common.
Maybe just the Duracell batteries in my area are the best ones because they don't leak and they last for what they promise. Sometimes they last even more.
Well, my battery, that Duracell battery that leaked in my fan is supposed to expire in 2025, and it was completely spoiled. But thankfully, I was able to clean up the batteries case so the case didn't get ruined.
Well, you know Rayovac batteries?
Yep, I use them.
They don't leak, but they die a lot. Like, you constantly have to change them out, but the only reason we get them sometimes is because they come in big, giant packs, so we just have unlimited batteries, basically.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I do not care if Duracell has a longer charge. If it's gonna ruin my appliances, I'm not gonna get it. Especially for vintage ones like an old clock. Like, I have the battery powered clock on my wall, and I made sure there were no Duracell batteries in there. I used the Rayovac in there.
But yeah, two things in my house that would eat up batteries a lot. I used to have some, like, light. It was like a portable battery-powered light that was shaped like a controller. And I think Jaden has the same light as me. It used to eat up batteries all the time. I would put batteries in it, and the next day they would be dead.
Well, I also don't have many appliances that use batteries because corded ones just plain work.
And then another one is I have this like Super Mario mushroom light, and it eats up batteries a lot too. So we just bought rechargeable ones.
Yeah.
And then another one, we have this Better Homes and Gardens like portable storm shelter fan or something, and it uses like D batteries. So we put Rayovac D batteries in there, and after like I don't know like 1 hour of constantly using it, I think it ran the batteries out. Well, of course, I didn't use it for an hour straight. I did leave it in certain periods of time, so it was actually extended to like 3 months. But I only used it for like 1 hour during that entire time.
And also, I had another bad experience with Duracell. They leaked in my cordless thermometer.
Oh yeah, you know about LEDs dying? Well, there was an LED that recently died in one of our kitchen lights.
Well, I hope they replaced it with an incandescent or a CFL.
We replaced it with another LED because that's all they have.
Well, just go to a thrift store like Goodwill or Habitat for Humanity, or even the Stinkin' Ear ripoff and just get some CFLs.
I don't know if my parents want to have to go to Goodwill every time they need to get new light bulbs, though. And then I think there's another light in our kitchen that's dying.
Let me guess. No surprise. It's probably LED.
Yes, the CFLs are starting to stop failing, but now the LEDs are really starting to fail. And also, I think there's a light fixture dying in our master bathroom. Because it started flickering, we thought it was the light bulb, but we changed it out, and it still was flickering. So I think it's something with the light fixture.
Well, or probably defective light bulbs, probably.
No, we put like brand new light bulbs in there. When we tried to put a new one in there, and it still flickered. So it's something with the light fixture. It was one of those cheap boob lights anyway, so what do you expect?
I don't like boob lights, to be honest.
Me either. I have one in my room. I wish I had a ceiling fan, but no, it's stuck with a boob light with a smart bulb in it.
Maybe just replace that light with a vintage ceiling fan.
Yeah, but the problem is that my parents disagree with that.
Well, again, when you get to my age, 16, just go to eBay and you can just get one for yourself, and then replace the the boob light with the ceiling fan while your parents are not looking.
Oh, trust me, my parents come to my room all the time. The second they would see it, they would just tear it off the ceiling.
Well, or just hook an extension cord to the ceiling fan, and then once they try to rip it, they'll shock them.
They'll still try. They're not going to let anything stop them from tearing that off the ceiling. They don't care if it ruins the ceiling. They're just going to tear it down.
Well, if they do that, they could also tear down the whole house.
I don't know if tearing down a single ceiling fan is going to do the entire house. It might do, like, maybe the ceiling of that room, but I don't think it's going to do an entire house. Maybe if you were in space, but on gravity, no.
Or just set up a testing setup in your room too, so it's only temporary.
My parents still aren't going to let me buy it.
Well, just buy it anyway, and then if they catch you, just run from them like you're running from cops, because that's what I'm gonna do.
They probably would just try to return it.
Well, what if they don't? If it's not successful, they probably will not return it.
Or they might just send it off to Goodwill. They'll do anything just to get rid of a ceiling fan.
Or also, before you try to run from them, just pop their tires. Because when the tires are popped, no one will be able to drive.
Well, if I run from the house like the cops, I'm never going to have anywhere to go again. Because I know if I show my face at that house again, I'm going to instantly get beat.
Like, just pretend that you're the criminal, and and your house is the police station.
They will do anything just to get rid of the ceiling fan.
And also, life as a kid is pretty hard. I honestly understand that.
Oh, do you remember how many friends I have?
What did he say?
You remember when I used to play Roblox? Can you remember how many friends I had?
I honestly don't remember.
Well, I reached 200.
Well, I have like 3,400 now. Not to brag.
The max on Roblox is 200.
To be honest, are you starting to not like Roblox because it keeps going down?
I don't know. I have a couple friends on there that actually want to play games with me. Like 2.
It is infuriating when a game goes down on you. I know that.
Before I had those 2 friends, Roblox was really boring for me, and I was thinking I only used it like once a month. But now I actually am starting to use it a little bit.
I think before 2020, Roblox was pretty fun.
It's too bad I didn't have it.
Honestly, I think 2020 was the year when the world was ruined.
2020 was the year when the world got bad because of the whole pandemic thingy.
Yeah, honestly, I think the 2010s were like the best times ever, and then COVID happened, and then life just wasn't the same.
One good thing about COVID, I'll say, is that we all got to stay home, and we didn't have to deal with going to school every day.
That was a pro, but I honestly don't mind going to school.
But there's more pros. There's more cons than pros. Like, many people died. You lose a bunch of family members. And just all that stuff. You can't go anywhere. You're just stuck at home all day. And you can't do anything.
Exactly. That's why...
So I'm going to be honest. I'd rather just go to school. And there's a friend at my school that doesn't have any social media. So the only way I can talk to them anyway is school.
Yeah, that is kind of... yeah, I honestly like school for the friends, but I do not like the IXL. We had to do too many of those.
My friend was going to give me his Xbox gamer tag, but he never got an Xbox, so I can't contact him over the summer.
You know, I'm trying to look for one of my thrift store finds is a pair of headphones that has a mic on it, so then I can talk, and then you guys don't have to hear my fan. It's noise in the background.
You know something funny that I found at the Goodwill? There was a school chair in there.
A school chair?
Yeah, it was a really tiny, like, chair from school.
For preschoolers?
Yeah, it was really tiny.
I think if I try to sit on that, I think it's just gonna crush. I think that's what I'm gonna happen if I even attempt to sit on a child chair. So what is the best purchase you got from Goodwill?
So you want to know something kind of devious I did at my school? No, it's not a devious like. I got in trouble by the school resource officer and I just walked away.
Wait, what did you do?
I got in trouble by the school resource officer and I just walked away.
Did you run like you were running from cops?
No, but I just started walking and he was like, "Get back over here!"
Was that recently?
No, I think it was like a few months ago.
Al, I had a friend in my color guard class last year, and he was walking away, and the coach was like, "Get back over here." But I'm not.
I know, like, back in December, I remember he told me to go to the office and I just pretended to start walking away.
So what did he do that caused you to get in trouble?
Wait, did you ask what I did?
Yep.
Well, I was trying to throw my trash away and it missed the trash can. So he told me to go pick it up, and then I picked it up, and then I slammed it into the trash can, and then apparently somebody got on the custodian. I didn't know it did. So then he just told me to go to the office, and I just pretended to walk away.
Well, did they do anything about it?
They sent me to the office, and I got lunch detention, but I didn't ever show up to it.
Well, good for you. You were able to escape detention.
And they didn't even care. Like, I was sitting in the lunchroom and they didn't care. And also, I need to go do something real quick. So I was knocking on my door at the FBI.
That is quite comical and quite rare, because at my school, if you didn't show up for detention, you would get another detention on top of that. So it's like you may as well go to detention. Have you seen a nailed-in ceiling fan box? Oh, Lighting Kit 2010. Look what I found in an antique store.
I'm back. I almost knocked my dad's drink off the dresser.
Guess what that is? I found at an antique store today.
Fire hazard with a switch.
It's also painted over too. Would you want that?
That does not help it at all. That makes it even more of a fire hazard. Which I'm actually going to be honest here, I actually don't think they are a fire hazard anymore.
Well, good, because they are not fire hazards.
But they're still not convenient, because, if you want to plug something in that has 3 prongs, you have to get some big chunky adapter. It's like Apple for USB-C adapters.
Exactly. But I don't mind the adapters, because, you know what? I don't really have anything that uses a 3-prong cord anyway, so that doesn't really matter to me.
It's basically like the iPlug of 3-prong devices sold separately, starting at $1,800.
And also, I shredded more homework, too, throughout the school year, and I still got all A's.
Oh, what's kind of funny is that one time, what was I going to say? I keep forgetting. I remember I used to knock on the nurse's door and then run. And they never caught me.
Well, good.
I remember one time she opened the door and then said my name, and I just kept walking. And I actually got out of the school.
How?
At dismissal time.
I also shredded all the homework throughout the school year, and guess what? I got my report card.
A's. I heard you the first time.
Yep, I did get straight A's. Not 1B on my report card, all A's. Remember about 2 years ago when I shredded the gun school homework?
I heard you the first time. I'm not trying to be rude. But yeah, I remember when you shredded your homework.
And then I admitted that I got detention for doing that.
You got detention?
Well, and maybe not detention, but I did get in trouble for that.
Honestly, why did they even give us homework anyway? Home is the only time we can get away from school, and they're just giving us more stuff to do outside of school.
Exactly. Like, give us a break, for crying out loud.
Home is the only time we get to take a break from school, and they're just wasting it all on homework. It's not like it's going to help us at all.
Exactly. And you know what? In 11th grade,
it's going to have less fun.
Exactly. But no problem at all. Just get a paper shredder and shred it all up.
And also, I don't really get homework. We only get it if we don't finish our work in class.
Well, I'm also going to 11th grade, and I have heard that is the grade that has the most homework. But no problem. I will shred it all.
Yeah, I bet next year your paper shredder's going to be getting a lot more paper.
Yeah. And also another thing with homework, you're wasting a bunch of paper, so you're damaging the environment.
Oh yeah, also my grandma now has a second paper shredder.
Oh, good. You can just come to her house and shred all of the homework up.
If I have to be.
And then...
At my elementary school, we still didn't get homework. The homework was optional, but we didn't have to do it. It was optional if we wanted to. But I'm going to be honest, I don't think anybody did it because nobody wants to do homework.
True.
I'm pretty sure it's extra credit.
Well, if my grades are low, I take the extra credit opportunities.
And shred it. But the lowest grade I've ever had was like a 43, and I fixed it.
I've had an F in my reading class in 3rd grade.
The lowest I had was actually a 0. Because one time there was one assignment that was graded and it was missing, so I fixed it.
Well, honestly, I've had a couple times when the teacher falls to missing assignment so it changed my grade, but it wasn't my fault at all. And then it took like 2 weeks to fix it.
Also, I can't even access my gradebook now. Like, I tried to log into Skyward and it wouldn't let me, so I don't know what my grades are for the 6 weeks. I was gonna check if I still pass, so then I can move on to the next year, but I don't know. But I bet I did, because I was always passing. The lowest grade I ever had was a 75, which isn't, like, valid for the party, but it is still passing.
Well, the lowest grade I got this year was like a 90.05. Like, I barely made an A.
I usually get like 80s, 90s, and 100s. So I'm not a straight A student, but I'm also not like one of those people that don't pay attention in class at all and get like terrible grades. I know some of the grades, the teacher could literally count it on her hands and feet.
Yeah.
And if you can count it on your hands and feet, you know your grade's bad. Because you shouldn't be able to.
Exactly.
And you know how schools usually don't let us have phones?
Well, my school will next year because I'll be an 11th grader.
Well, luckily at my school, on the last day of school, like half of our classes let us have phones out.
Yeah, that's a good part. I love that part in the last day of school.
So I got to play on my phone the entire class period and just play games.
Yeah, that is a fun thing.
Another one of my classes, we took a group photo and the teacher was airdropping it, but I have an Android, so she had to email it to me and then I had to get it from the Chromebook out of my phone.
So what is your least favorite school year you've had?
Probably 3rd grade because I had the most strict teachers during that time. And also, I used to act like unexplainable at the time.
Yeah, honestly the same with me. I did not like my 3rd grade year because my teacher was super strict.
Our reading teacher is super strict. I think somebody got most attention for accidentally choosing the wrong test.
Oh my gosh.
And then somebody got in trouble for chewing gum.
The gum rule is stupid.
It helped her focus.
Exactly. Gum helps you with focus. Like, why are you so, like, concentrate on the gum and dress code, but you're not concerned about education? It's stupid.
If they're going to let us do things that help us focus, then we're probably not going to do as good in school as they want us to.
Exactly. In fact, one of my friends got dress coded just because she was wearing a tank top, and in fact, her mom was like making a Facebook post rant because she didn't see anything wrong with that.
What's the point of dress codes anyway? It's not like it's going to affect your learning.
Exactly. Stupid dress codes.
The only thing that should be on the dress code is don't wear anything that's inappropriate, that has something like inappropriate on the shirt.
Yeah, that could be a good one. I do have a big butt fan shirt, but I know I'd get dress code for wearing that to school.
So that should be the only thing on the dress code. Everything else should be fine because it's not like inappropriate. It doesn't affect your learning, so I don't see why we can't wear it. and especially hats.
Exactly.
Like hats are something. Like I know there's a hat day, but why can't we wear hats?
Exactly. It's stupid.
And also, hats can help you because if you're outside, you don't have the sun like brightly shining in your eyes.
Exactly. And when you're outside, also, what if you got sunburn on your face? You need a hat to protect you from the sun. I know what you mean. Like, dress code should just get outlawed entirely.
Well, I gotta go.
Okay.
My parents are being dumb.
Oh. Well, it also doesn't seem like anyone's going to be joining my live stream anymore, so I'm going to have to close out for today. Sorry, but goodbye.